So, I've ordered that katana from Blades and Bows. A few people asked me to. And I'm quite impressed with it so far. I've not actually done any test cutting with it, but it comes in this nice sort of wood scabbard. Actually a lot nicer than a lot of the much more expensive sword scabbards I have, to be honest, just the basic wood one. And here's the katana itself, 1045 carbon. Handles a lot better than I thought it would, to be honest, because I'd always sort of considered katanas to be a bit clumsy. I will do a video, probably the next video I do will be a video where I talk a bit about katanas and all the myths about them and all the stuff like that. I'm sure people like Lindy Beige have already done videos like that, but I thought it would be quite interesting to talk about. So, I got this from Blades and Bows. Before I go any further, I will show you the thing. That's a bit of my invoice folded, and as you can see on there, that's the name of it. Sohei, I guess, or Sohei, natural wood katana. I didn't bother getting the stand of it because I'll probably hang it from my wall. And it was only $39.99 for the katana itself, despite being a 1045 carbon, because it was reduced. When you have delivery on top of it, it's $49.99. So for £50, you can get a katana that seems bloody good, to be honest. So, let's talk about it. So, katanas, as I said, I don't want to rant too much about them in this video. I'm not a massive fan of them in the sense that they have so much legend attached to them. You know, compared to lots of swords, there's sort of lots of mysticism, I guess, attached to them. Whereas I think they are perfectly good swords in themselves, but for what they are. But you know, they are certainly no, you know, equivalent to some of the European swords of the time. So katanas are actually designed to be wielded two-handed, I guess, in a stance a bit like this. I don't know if your right hand goes at the bottom. I assume it might actually. Or does your right hand go closer to the top? I don't actually know. Because I'm wondering if you wield it like a pole arm or if you wield it like a an actual sword. But you can actually wield this well enough with one hand, it seems. You know, the weight of it isn't too bad. I haven't weighed this yet. I didn't find out too many technical specifications on it, but it is 1045 carbon steel. I felt along the edge, and it has got a good sharp edge to it. So there you go. So I'll show you a bit closer, sort of where the handle is and everything, just so you can get some details on it. But obviously that's where the blade, there's a name for the handguard katanas have, but I'm not familiar with it, so I won't butcher what it's called, but it's got like a nice leaf pattern kind of thing on there. Then you've got, you know, like the wrapped handle, which is ray skin under there, I believe, which I assume is ray skin as in the fish. It looks a bit like polystyrene. Oh, I'm hitting the ceiling now, I can't show it you any higher, but it looks a bit like polystyrene, but obviously isn't. And then you've got like kind of a metal design under there that looks quite nice. So yeah, I have a feeling the blade was something like 33 inches, excuse me, but again, I've not checked all that yet. So yeah, so if you can get a 1045 carbon steel katana for £50 when you include the postage, I am willing to forgive a lot with this, but so far it all seems pretty good. There's a little bit of movement on the handguard, but nothing serious. I don't know how you'd actually tighten up a katana's handguard. But yeah, I'm completely willing to forgive that. It doesn't seem like it's going to come loose at all. It's just, you know, if you put pressure on it, that moves a bit. This bit here moves a little bit as well, but you might be able to get both of those things really tight together and then neither of them would move, so I'll look into doing that at some point. But I certainly don't feel like this is constructed in a way that anything's going to fall apart on it. And as I said, with swords, the cheaper they are, the more forgiving I'm going to be. So if this is 50 quid, I'm going to be very forgiving on little bits that rattle ever so slightly. You know, because as I said, I've had a much more expensive handweight sword with a bit of rattling that I've only finally been able to fix. But yeah, you know, can't complain too much. So I guess this only weighs just over 1 kilo. I'll have to try and weigh it somehow. I don't have any fishing scales or anything like that, so that'd be a bit difficult. But overall, yeah, this is, it feels quite nice. So, as I said, katanas are meant to be wielded with two hands in a stance, I think, a bit like this, whereas I prefer European stances of holding a sword out from you. But you could actually do either with a katana, I think, quite well. Yeah, overall I'm impressed. Now, I'm not going to be able to do some test cutting, I apologise, in this video. The best I'm going to do is inside the house, the packaging it came in, I will hit with it and I'll see what happens. I assume you can thrust with a katana, but not very well, due to the, you know, tip of it. But obviously, primarily, a katana is for slashing. Now, if you look in sort of the stuff of feudal Japan, katanas are pretty much just like a sword used for dueling or killing unarmoured peasants. In all practicality in feudal Japan, probably polearms were far more practical, bows and polearms than katanas, but katanas is a weird one for some reason. It's got this reputation. That said, I don't want to rant too much about it when I should be talking about this individual sword a bit more in this video. I'll do a video probably tomorrow, you know, like next video that gets uploaded, where I actually address a lot of the things with katanas, you know, what's actually good about them, what's bad about them. So, I was saying this is 1045 carbon apparently, and that's good, because the problem with real katanas from feudal Japan was that they had very poor quality iron, basically pig iron. That's where this whole like folded 1,000 times thing comes from with the katana. They weren't obviously folded 1,000 times, they probably folded 12 times or something, but the point was that unlike European steel, and this was no fault of the Japanese, they were just working with what they had, they didn't have as good quality steel as European swords. So it meant their swords actually, you know, inferior in terms of steel quality. So they had to fold the metal lots of times to actually make it work well, but that meant katanas are brittle. But if you have a katana made to a modern 1045 carbon, obviously with barely any impurities in it, it's probably going to actually be a really good sword. So as said, I am not trained to use a katana whatsoever. I mean, I could use it very much like a European saber. It seems like I can actually control this very well in terms of, you know, like like swinging it, recovering it, whatever, guard block. Although katanas obviously historically are not designed for guarding so much with the sword because of the steel quality they were made out of. Like I said, I think the sort of katana stance is very much sort of, you know, striking fast and quickly with probably lots of footwork. Anyway, so yeah, I'm very impressed with it. Just to show you the sort of sheath again. Fits nice and snugly on there. Obviously, I think with this like bow thing on the, there's probably a proper name for this again. Like I said, I don't really care because I'm not massively into katanas. I don't want to sound awful saying that, but there you go. You could hang this on your wall using that, I think, somehow, or hang it like that, yeah, with a bit like hanging a saber. The closest thing I can compare this to in European sword terminology would be kind of a relatively straight saber with a bit of a curve on it. It's sort of a very similar profile and feel to a saber. But yeah, I'm actually really impressed with this for the not much money it cost. You know, like I said, £50 in total of postage, next day delivery. Brilliant. So right, what I'm going to do is you're going to have to watch me fail horribly. I'm going to attempt to destroy a very dishonourable box, and we will see what happens. So let's do it. I think somehow, or hang it like that, yeah, with a bit like hanging a saber. The closest thing I can compare this to expected, would be straight it saber. Causes the box to crumple. It's like with most of these swords when I try and I'm actually hit with them, because there's not enough resistance in the box, and you can see how easily it falls over. So yeah, I can't dramatically chop this box because it's hollow. But I can dramatically, like if you like, again, the closest out as to be expected, it just causes the box. Absolutely nothing, you know, as interesting as it looks. Let me just quickly try thrusting it, and I miss. So this is kind of like thrusting with a saber. It's not brilliant. Yeah, that's stabbed in, but obviously knocked it over as well because there's no weight at the bottom of this. It's got in a plastic bowl. The closest out as to be expected, fall over under its own weight. The box. But yeah, I'll just try once more. Do a proper overhead without taking out the ceiling. What? And swipe the katana into the floor. However, I have not damaged the floor or the katana, it seems. So that's good. But I won't do that again. Hang it like that, a bit like, you know, plastic bowl, so it doesn't totally pointless. Oh, actually no, I did do something. I lied. We have established that the katana can cut well because I have taken a slice off of this jug. So yeah, the katana can cut all right, but just not cardboard boxes. Or hang it like that, a bit like plastic bowl, so it doesn't really pointless.